We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy Powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good, brother.
Just recently started using your products. Everything you said about them's correct. Me and my wife both use a lot of them, and it's made a lot of changes in our lives here.
Well, thank you, brother. It's because it also funds our operation, but doing that, I know I've got to have the highest quality. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals.
We do the Super Male and the Super Female Vitality. Big changes, a lot of energy. We've gotten off of the cheap energy drinks, energy shots, saving a ton of money there.
Sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated for maximum potency. They want us stunned and dumbed down, and energy drinks and stuff just cover that up for a while, but then burn you out, in my experience, whereas stuff that gets your glands naturally going goes right to the source. So it's pretty exciting, and I love it. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life. Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Secret 12 is a binary of nutrimedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled I-N-F-I-D-E-L, bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and we're talking to Gerald Celente, publisher of Trends Journal, trendsresearch.com. And, of course, we're talking about, as I mentioned earlier, Glenn Greenwald sent out a tweet saying, you know, that you're pretty deep into empire when they can start a new war and nobody even thinks it's news anymore. Well, Gerald Celente thinks that it's news. I think it's news. Actually, Gerald Celente has been talking about this specific incident 6 years ago in Trends Journal. He was talking about how this was going to happen, that Saudi Arabia was going to escalate things by going into Yemen, and now it has happened. And we're talking about the implications of that. But, Gerald, you sent us a video about Obama talking about the success that they've had in Yemen. Set that up for us, and we'll play that video. Oh, we've lost Gerald. Gerald, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I was just going to say, you sent us a video about Obama talking about what they've been able to do in Yemen as an accomplishment. Set that up for us, and we'll play that video.
Yes, this is from September 10th, as Obama's announcing that we're not going back into Iraq. No, no, no. We're only going to save them Yazidis on the mountain, folks. No, we're not going to go back there and run airstrikes all the time and bomb Syria. We're just going to save them Yazidis on the mountain, and it's an anti-terrorist move. And by the way, he talks about his other great successes. So let's listen to that.
We've targeted al-Qaeda's affiliate in Yemen and recently eliminated the top commander of its affiliate in Somalia. This counterterrorism campaign will be waged through a steady, relentless effort to take out ISIL wherever they exist using our air power and our support for partners' forces on the ground. This strategy of taking out terrorists who threaten us while supporting partners on the front lines is one that we have successfully pursued in Yemen and Somalia for years, and it is consistent with the approach I outlined earlier this year, to use force against anyone who threatens America's core interests, but to mobilize partners wherever possible to address broader challenges to international order.
Oh, there we go. So, yeah, we're al-Qaeda's partners in Syria. Many people said we were operating as al-Qaeda's air force in Syria, but of course, we're now against al-Qaeda in Yemen is what he's telling us, right?
Well, what he's talking about are the victories that he's had in Yemen. Yeah, great victory.
Yeah.
Great victory. They pulled out all the troops. They closed down the embassy and lost $500 million worth of arms there. And here he is with all that arrogance, bragging about the success we've had with our partners in Yemen. Our partner, another General Hadi, another dictator, another military madman, our partners. And by the way, they keep getting away with it, and they keep doing it.
Yeah, I guess they're going to find now that when their partners go into Yemen, their Saudi partners, they're going to be finding that they're going to be fighting people with the weapons that we left behind when we bugged out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, we were taking a break before. I was mentioning what's going on with China and the AAIB, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and that if you look at America's policy in Asia, what is it? Pivot to Asia, more military reach. And what's China's and the Asians' policy? More business. When are we going to get out of this military mentality of more war? And that's all we keep selling as our economy keeps going. Now, you saw the numbers last week that came out on durable goods. You saw the GDP numbers for 2014. Oh, whoopee-doo. It came in at, 2.2% after trillions of dollars pumped into the market through quantitative easing and record low interest rates. And what are we doing? Getting involved in more wars? And who can get away with this? If the president is there September 10th bragging about our success in Yemen with our partner, and poof, the place is up in smoke.
Yeah, no sooner than he finished the speech, essentially. I guess it's kind of like his transparency that he was going to have, Gerald, where we were going to know everything that his administration was doing, and they're the ones coming after the freedom of the press more than all the other administrations combined. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this breaks down. And one of the things that you said when we were talking about this 6 years ago, very likely that there's going to be terrorism in Saudi Arabia. You point out there's a large Yemeni population already in place in Saudi Arabia. This could blow back in terms of the Yemenis going on the offensive, and that could have massive repercussions for oil and for the economy worldwide, because the economy is essentially based on oil. As the price of oil goes up, economic activity plummets, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's what you're going to start to see. They're not going to sit back and take this. Who would? And if somebody else was attacking us, we go back and attack them. I mean, can't people get this in their head? And all this Arab Little League has done is cause destabilization throughout the area. I'll never forget, David, I was on China Today, and along with the Washington bureau chief of Al Jazeera. Now, Al Jazeera is owned by the Qatar government, and they're the Sunnis, right? So this guy is making the case for why the United States has to overthrow Gaddafi. And this is going on for an hour. And finally I said to him, listen, I said, I'm tired of hearing this. I said, here you are, someone from Qatar, saying that the Americans have to get involved in this Libyan war. I said, why don't you pack up your gear and take your wife and your kids and yourself and go lead the charge? Well, there's this guy talking with this perfect English accent. I guess the bureau chief was trained in the UK. And then this cat lost it at the end. He starts yelling and screaming, look what our Nobel Peace Prize winner, piece of garbage, has done with Libya, along with Samantha Powers, Susan Rice, and Hillary Clinton in overthrowing the Gaddafi government. And look what happened last week at what happened in Tunisia with these Islamic fundamentalists who the United States and the Arab Little League supported in overthrowing Gaddafi as they blew up this museum, or not blew up the museum, they blew up people in this museum in Tunisia. Where did they come from? They came from Libya. Where are they going into Syria, into Iraq? It's all from the destabilization being caused by the Arab League and the United States support of these mass murderers going into foreign countries and trying to overthrow the governments.
Yeah, of course, the net result of our policies in Libya is basically to turn it into an arms market for terrorism, a way that we can supply covertly our terrorist allies in Syria and other places. Maybe that was the design from the beginning. What do you think, Gerald? But I want to talk about the budget. You know, we have this massive defense budget. We just had Rand Paul make a very controversial proposal. He proposed adding $190 billion to the defense budget. And here's one of the perhaps only voices that could stand up to say enough is enough on the defense bill, but he doesn't do it. And he actually is even more responsible, though, than the rest of the guys who are going to be throwing their hat in the ring for president. You got Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz signing on to that, but not offsetting it with any cost. At least you could say Rand Paul is trying to offset the $190 billion increase, trying to offset it with $106 billion cuts in foreign aid and other things like that. But I guess the question is, will it never end? Do we have anybody that is going to push back and say, how big is enough? And once we get to the size that the defense budget is, as we were just talking about earlier in the show, I think it's a real threat to the safety of Americans. And, of course, it's a threat to our prosperity. We cannot afford to have this kind of defense spending.
Of course we can't. It's destroying the country. Again, you know, Eisenhower warned us about it. And I'm sick of these guys throwing out, well, I'm going to protect the homeland. Pack up your stuff and go lead the charge. Send your kids. Hey, is Obama's girls, when they get out of college or before they get into college, are they going to join the service? How many of these senators' sons and daughters are fighting? Everybody that wants war, go to the foreign country where you're leading, where you're bringing war to, and lead the charge. I've had it with these little boy chicken hawks with big mouths and cojones the size of mothballs telling us where we have to go fight. I'm sick of it. And they are all traitors to the founding fathers of this nation, from Washington to Jefferson, to Madison to Franklin, to Adams. No foreign entanglements. And what do they have to show for it? Nothing but loss. If anybody could add up some successes, I'd be happy to look at them. In the meantime, our nation's going down the crapper. Look at the numbers. What do you see?
It's pretty amazing when you look at this increase, Gerald. This is more than most nations of the world have in a total defense budget, way more than most of them have. It's way more than probably about 40% of the countries have in terms of a gross domestic product, this $190 billion increase. It's absolutely insane. As you pointed out, the founders knew this was going to destroy the country. James Madison said, if tyranny and oppression ever comes to this land, it'll be in the guise of fighting a foreign enemy. That's the way it's coming. And it's bankrupting this country.
It's in front of us. I'm disgusted with all these guys. How could it change? Look, David, if you had a new member, a new guy that was running the Bloods or the Crips? Is it going to change how the Bloods and the Crips operate? And I don't say that sarcastically.